Hello everyone, I'm Akshay Jain, and in this SSAS demo video, I'm going to explain you how we can add a dimension table to existing SSAS cube. In this particular example, let's say we have one cube built over here where we are analyzing the internet sales data against the dim currency, customer and product. And what we want to do over here is we want to add one more dimension, date, so that our user can analyze the data from the year, quarter, and month perspective as well. In order to do that activity, I need to make a modification to my sales queue and I need to add one more dimension over here. In order to do that, I need to go to my data source view first. And in my data source view, I need to add one more table that contain dim date related data. So for that purpose, in order to add that table, I just need to click over here on the top right hand side button where the name is written add or remove object. Once I click on it, it is just going to give me a view of all the tables and view that I have in this particular database. Here I can select a particular dimension table, like here I'm selecting dim date. I'm adding it to my included object list where I have the other tables already added. And after that I can just say OK over here. Once I say OK, you will be able to see that the table will be added to our data source view, and based on the primary key foreign key relationship that is defined between this table, it is just going to create a link over here accordingly. Once we add dim date to our data source view, we need to add it to our cube as well. In order to add the dimension table to our cube, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the dimension wizard over here. So in order to add the table over here, I'm just going to right click on my dimension folder and I'm going to say I want to add a new dimension. When I click on it, it will give me a pop-up window that looks something like this. I can go next over here and I can select the options. Here the options are either I can use an existing table, or I can generate a new table, or I can use a template table. Now here I want to use an existing table that I have just added to my data source view, dim date. So I'm choosing this option and I'm going to the next window. In the next window, I need to define over here the table that I want to use. So I'm going over here in this drop down list and I'm selecting that I want to create this dimension out of the dim date. Here the date key is a key column that is already being selected, and to this particular key column, let's say we want to give a value of a full date alternate key that will contain the proper date value. So I'm just assigning it a name value column as a full date alternate key. After that I can go to the next, where in the next I have a list of all the attribute that is particular to this particular dimension table. Here I can select all the attribute that I want to add, like let's say I want to add a calendar year, semester, quarter, and English calendar month as well. So I can select all those attributes over here. Okay. After I select those attributes, I can just go next. I can give whatever name I want to give to my dimension. I'm just keeping it as a dim date only. And after that, I can just say finish over here. Once I say finish, this dim date will be added to my particular queue. The next thing what I want to do is I want to analyze my data against the calendar year, quarter, month, etc. So for that purpose, I just need to process my cube accordingly, and I need to make sure that the table is being added to my particular queue. So in order to add the table over here, I can just say that I want to show all the tables. So the table will come over here in this included object list. Okay. And after that, I need to define its usage as well. So for that purpose, I need to go to the dimension usage tab, and here I can just right click on it and I can just say that I want to add a new cube dimension that I have just added. So I'm going over here and I'm adding a dim date. Once I click on it, okay, a dim date will be added. Here the dim date is has three role playing dimensions: order date, ship date, and due date. So this three relationship has come over here accordingly with that respect. Once you add this dimension over here in the dimension usage tab, you are good to go and deploy your cube. So in order to see the result in the cube window, I'm just going to go to the solution and I'm just going to say that process the cube. Once I say process, it is automatically first going to deploy the cube definition and then it is going to process the cube. So I'm just saying yes over here, and it is just going to start this particular deployment and processing operation. Once the deployment and operation processing option will done, I will be able to see that one more dimensions will be added to my cube with the name dim date, and I will be able to browse the data against it. So here now the cube processing has just completed. So I can just say close over here and close on this window as well. And now I can go to my SSAS cube. Previously I just had over here this 4 dimensions, 3 dimensions. Now if I just go over here and if I just refresh it, I will be able to see that I will be having the 4th dimension being added over here as a dim date. Okay. Similarly, if I go into the browsing window and if I just say reconnect and refresh over here, I will be able to see that I will be having this dimensions date added over here as a role playing dimension for order date, ship date, and due date. And with each of this dimension, I will be having a respective attribute. Now, if I want to analyze any data, I can just select the data from here, like let's say sales amount or order quantity, and I can just select the measure dimension against which I want to see that data, like let's say calendar year or English month name. So I can just fetch the data in this particular manner, and I can just slice and dice the data by adding a new dimension to my SSAS queue. Thanks for watching this video and happy learning.